changed from a couple of years back, where I think if I'd gone into a store in, say, 2005, I might have been looked by a salesperson as saying, well, are you crazy? You've got Windows on there. What more could you want? So it's quite encouraging that it was quite dismissed as quite trivial to mention that, I'd be putting Linux on, and it didn't seem to be an issue. And like I say, it completely wasn't. And I'm going to sound like a complete shill for Acer here, but I assure you I've got no connection with them whatsoever. The Acer machines I've found, and I've always mostly had Acer machines, I've always taken whatever Linux distribution I wanted, thrown at them, and they've worked perfectly. I've been very happy with the Acer systems, so I would thoroughly recommend. If somebody said, what's your best PC for running Linux, I would certainly put my hand on my heart and say Acer, because they've been fantastic, and the customer service was very good as well, although I didn't get my refund because they wouldn't send my computer off. Sorry, Gordon, did you have something you wanted to add?
Sorry, yeah. As a sort of comparison to that, my netbook is an MSI Wind. I got it out of Argos. I'll mention that. Now, at the time, I did say to them, look, I did a little bit of research in various stores and asked about, so it comes with Windows. It happened to be XP on the netbooks, so I don't want Windows at all. I'm putting Linux on this. And I got contrary to what you got, I got it comes with Windows. But yet I know that, I'm saying I don't want to put Windows on it. It comes with Windows. So they don't know any different. The sales staff don't know any different at all in my area anyway. But the deal that I happened to get, the retail price was something like 270, sort of Jolly Cloud kind of netbook prices. I happened to get mine in the sales for 200, and I tried to push for the discount for the unused Windows license. It was just a complete non-starter. You keep getting pushed from one. Argos push you to say that they say, right, contact MSI. MSI say contact Argos. Argos say contact Microsoft. They all keep pushing you from one place to the other. And I eventually said, you know what, I give up. I totally give up. I got mine for 200. I got mine heavily discounted, brand new, and it's an excellent little netbook. I don't care the fact. It does kind of annoy me a little bit that I've paid for, despite saying up front, I don't want Windows on this, but I know that you can't open it in white Windows. I get that, I understand that. But I don't want Windows on this, and I happen to pay for that. It does kind of annoy me a little bit, but having said that, I got a fantastic deal on the price. So if I don't get a refund, it's not that big of a deal. Every chance, the £200 that I paid for it was less than the price that Argos were planning to sell it for anyway, so they probably made it a loss out of me. And I happened to get a half price stand as well, as part of the deal. So that's the way I kind of see it. Okay, yeah, Microsoft have got their extra sale out of me, technically speaking, but I have got a better deal out of it. So as annoying as it is, it's kind of swings round the routes.
One subject I think that we've all spoken about before at some point, whether it's been on our blogs or in the chat room, is how many of these sales which result in sort of somebody like me removing Windows from the PC, how many of these sales are still marked down as a Microsoft success or a Microsoft user? And you always wonder when looking at these stats and for Windows users online, how they're actually coming to some of these figures, because obviously I got a Windows 7 PC, but I'm not running Windows 7. So if I'm added to the list of Microsoft sales, it's incorrect. And how many more people are like me? I can think of 10 people just in my local area who are doing exactly the same thing as me.
Yeah, this is the distinction that I make. Is Microsoft they keep saying people choose Windows. Now, to choose something, you must have the option of something else. You must be able to walk into a store and say you can buy this device with Windows, or you can buy this device that doesn't have Windows, and that people are choosing the one with Windows. Well, I'm sorry, but if all of your stock is including Windows, there is no choice. There's absolutely no choice. So when they say people are choosing Windows, that's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. People are choosing a new PC, it happens to come with Windows. So they're not choosing Windows, they're choosing a new PC.
Roy, before we sort of hit the near the end of the show. We're now hitting upon the hour. I think we've just gone over the hour by my calculations. So is there anything else you would like to add before I go over to Gordon for the same offer? Any other titles?
Yeah, and all kinds of things I could say about the bundling. I think we could do an extra show about just the issue of, because I think we haven't done a special show about the issue of choice, about the vendors and who's doing exactly what. And I think there is lots to be covered. Also experiences and personal choices, and then you have the same story also with the web browser. You know, the choice, the illusion of choice, and the imposition, and then the reasoning. You know, after basically Microsoft all sorts of stories like that. I could tell you about how you find in antitrust memos, you find evidence that before they managed to spin everything as people choosing things and having reasoning for people preferring to have Windows pre-installed before all this happened, they actually had a plot to restrict the market and use the OEMs as they call it, the marketing people. Or they call it the delivery guys. The delivery guys was the phrase by Brad Chase, I think. He was writing to Mossberg from the Wall Street Journal with Bill Gates and everything, and you see all kinds of very embarrassing things of how they perceive themselves as exploiting the shops that you buy a computer from and actually using these people to restrict what will be made available to users. So yeah.
Well, I mean that's certainly a topic we can look at in one of the future shows. Gordon, is there anything else you would like to add in closing? Any title? Because I've been very unfair to you today because we've sort of overlooked you. If you had any other articles, or did we cover most of the things that you've been looking at?
There's one story actually. I don't know exactly how current it is. It's like an ongoing story. It's about a company called Righthaven, who from what I can work out, what they would do is they would look at stories in various newspapers and then copyright them, and then sue for copyright infringement, claiming it's not fair use and whatever. And they would throw out like splattergun approach and throw out lots and lots of lawsuits. First of all, the newspaper would be encouraging people to repost like fair use sections of articles and stories and things like that. And then Righthaven would come along and say, that's our stuff. Even one sentence from this article, we're suing you for copyright. And they set out a whole splattergun approach of suing everyone, absolutely everyone. And one company or one site or whatever decided to countersue. And then a judge suddenly went against them and said, look, this is fair use. Prove to us why it's not fair use. Because it was pretty clear, pretty obvious, it was actually fair use in these alleged infringements. And a judge has asked them to do that, and they've suddenly backpedaled and withdrawn and tried to back their way out of these lawsuits. But they've been hoisted on their own accusations, because there's been a countersuit against them. They can't back out of that. So all of a sudden, all these accusations of copyright infringement, and certainly in one case, have come back to bite them in the bum. And I cannot be more happy. I'd love to see these guys get their ass handed to them in court. I really would. And I hope, yeah, exactly. I hope this is the first of many. This is clearly fair use, and you're just abusing the whole concept. So.
Well, there's I'll put a link on the show notes. I've just found funny that Roy should mention HCS Law, because there's a blog which seems to be doing the same type of thing of that I think it was being victimised or just something like that. There was one blog that was meant for the what they classed as victims of these copyright allegations from ACS Law and people like that. And it's Righthaven Victims is a similar type of thing. It seems like a very interesting sort of story here because, and I think it is ongoing. I mean, I'm just sort of briefly skimming over the article now. But yeah,